I think we are good to start. So once again, good evening, parents, and thank you so much for taking your time to be a part of Frank's 10 Minutes Talk today. So today we'll be discussing a truly relevant topic that is loud, noisy, chaotic, confusing. That is the twos and threes of our children. So before we get into that, let me ask you, okay, imagine like your toddler is in the middle of a grocery store having a meltdown and you're desperately trying to calm them down while like navigating all the other part and the fellow shoppers are casting those judgmental glances your way. So most of you might have experienced this at least once in their life, right? Can I get few responses like yes or no since it's YouTube and this is very new for me? I feel like nobody's there on the screen. Okay, Shruti, yes, Gopika, yes, okay. So yes, so as I was saying, like children these years are so notorious for testing even the most patience among us as parents. But okay, Jewel, yes, okay. So, but fear not, today we will be exploring some common behavioral challenges to equip you with practical strategies to navigate this developmental stage with grace, patience, and understanding, right? Because 2 and 3 or all those toddlers' years are very precious. You should enjoy those growth and developmental stage of your children along with them. So, the toddler years are unique, like characterized with a lot of rapid growth in their emotions, their body changes, and exploration, right? Children in this age group are highly curious to know what is happening, and this is also a stage where the emergence of independence occur. So, it's a time when our little ones begin to assert their autonomy, like often through a series of behavior that might leave us scratching our heads sometimes, reaching for the nearest cup of coffee or trying to get to the hot water. A lot of things happen these times. So it is crucial to remember that these behaviors are a normal part of development. As our toddlers grow and they are newfound with a lot of emotions and the desire to express themselves. So, continuing with that, one of the primary challenges during the terrible twos and threes, and one of the common concerns we hear at CRIN are the onset of tantrums in our children. So, these emotional outbursts can actually be triggered by frustration, like a desire for control, or simply an inability to communicate effectively. So, for example, if considering the common scenario at every household, okay, so if you're considering a very common situation, like okay, imagine that your child is very frustrated because he cannot fit into a like he cannot fit a piece of puzzle in its position. It will be followed by a tantrum involving tears and stomping feet and a lot of loud, mournful cry, right? So, in these moments, understanding the source of their frustration becomes very crucial. So, the first strategy is to approach their tantrums with empathy. So, try to understand the source of your child's frustration and acknowledge their feeling. Like, while it may be tempting to match their intensity with your own, maintaining a calm state to de escalate the sound is lost. Am I audible to everyone? Sahala's sleep sound is low. Is it a situation for everyone? Yes, it's audible for me. Okay, so I don't know what is wrong. Okay, so I'm continuing. So the first strategy, as I was, it's audible. So, as I was telling, the first strategy is to approach their tantrums with empathy. Like, try to understand the source of your child's frustration and acknowledge their feelings. Like, yes, as I was telling, you have to be in a calm state and then you have to de escalate the situation. There is a lot of background noise. If I start, I don't know why it is that. Let me just see. Okay. Okay. So now once that part is understood, the next is to focus on the communication. So communication is a key during these years. Like toddlers are toddlers are eager to communicate, but often lack the vocabulary to express themselves fully. Encourage the language development also by narrating daily activities, asking them open-ended questions, and patiently listening to their attempts at communication. Because during their twos and threes or in their toddler age, not everybody will be fully developed in their language. So you have to prompt it by asking them a lot of questions. Because as a parent mentor at Crink, we usually hear that my child is very shy. He is a little bit like he lacks communication. He does not speak, and whenever we provide activities for their individual time, most of the parents say us that like he does not respond to it much. So at the initial stage, we are like as parents, we are responsible for prompting it to our children. So encourage these by asking like daily activities, what happened in school or how did it went, how was your playtime, all these questions, or even you can share about your day to them. Like for example, if your toddler is pointing at something in the kitchen and you are left guessing whether like they want a snack or are they just curious about the shiny toaster or any other pots over the shelf, just encourage the language development. Ask them in the non-verbal cue, what do you want? Okay. So the next step is to keep in mind is to set. So the next step to keep in mind is to set clear, consistent boundaries. So this is another crucial aspect of navigating to this stage. Like picture a scenario where okay. So this is another crucial aspect of navigating this particular stage. Like picture a scenario where your child insists on playing with their toys right before the bedtime. Okay. So establishing a consistent routine helps them to understand that there's time for play, like time for rest, or reinforcing the importance of boundaries. So, toddlers basically crave the structure and routine which provides a sense of security. But setting those boundaries require a lot of other things too. So, the first thing is clearly communicate expectations, and when rules are broken, respond with calm but firm approach. I usually say this during the other sessions too. So, consistency reinforces a message that certain behaviors are not acceptable, but helping your child understand the consequences of their actions. The next one we have to focus is on the positive reinforcements. This is not something you cannot overstate. So celebrate the small victories and praise your child when they like exhibit positive behavior. This not only boosts your self-esteem but also reinforces the idea that good behaviors is rewarded. So consider implementing a reward system for their small milestones or achieving some certain like milestones or providing tangible incentives to keep them motivated and to like continue the good behavior. So as parents, it is essential to model the behavior we wish to see in our children, right? Like we are our primary caregivers and we are our primary connection. So we have to model certain behaviors we wish to see in our children, like practice patience, understanding, and effective communication in your own interactions. We cannot be a parent who shouts and yell at small things and expect our child to be very calm when those same similar situations occur. So children are keen observers and they learn by observing the significant adults in their life, and those significant adults are the people at their home, like our parents, grandparents, or their relatives. So by demonstrating these behaviors you want to instill in them, you create a nurturing environment that fosters emotional intelligence and positive social skills. So like if taking a very relevant example, imagine that you accidentally drop something, okay? And instead of reacting negatively, you can calmly pick it up and carry on, and you can maybe clean it up all by yourself without like shouting or anything. So what your child is observing is he observes like he learned how to manage frustration and setbacks by mirroring your composed response. I hope that is clear. Was it clear to everyone on some very briefly about how to handle those things? Okay. So, as we are concluding, the terrible twos and threes may be trying, but okay. There are also certain times we lose our patience, that is perfectly fine, but all we have to do is be consistent and model and be a good role model for our children. Like embrace the challenges with patience, understanding, recognizing that these moments will be fleeting and we'll have to pay for it more. So always try to build a harmonious relationship with your child, and by approaching this stage with all those points we have discussed, like starting with empathy, effective communication, consistent boundaries, positive reinforcement, and not last but not the least, leading by example, you can navigate the toddler's years with grace and set the foundation for a strong and loving parent child relationship. And yes, I know it is not as easy as I told, and you will not figure it out in a go, but that's why we are here to help you, right? So be consistent in whatever things you are implementing and never be hesitated to seek for help when you need it. And thank you for your attention, and may your parenting journey be filled with joy and fulfillment. Have a great weekend, everyone. So thank you.